the situation remains difficult for thousands of families who have been affected with this landslide from the flooding. And as I can tell, as of today, we are reporting around 415 people dead and confirmed buried. And we can tell from the discussions that we are having with people on the ground that the trauma is growing. As we account for people who have lost all the members of their families, husbands who have lost their wives and children, businesses who have been wiped away, livelihood and livestock, means that have been wiped away. So the situation is tense, and people are in dire needs of support. As of this afternoon, we're trying to understand whether we can get into the affected areas.
How is Corus International and other aid organizations helping those in dire need right now?
As of, I think, yesterday and today, we had issues because the only access that we had was remaining the lake. So we have floating bodies on the same lake. We have floating bodies into the rivers, the affected rivers. And the government is thinking about some orders to be made and prevent, people from getting through the affected areas through the lake. As the government, local leaders, local communities keep on searching into the rubbles, into the mud, into the lake. Now that we have people floating from the lake, so it is still more tricky for humanitarian agencies to step in and position themselves as to which or to what extent they can bring in the support. So what we are doing currently as Corus International, we are still monitoring with other stakeholders and local actors on the ground, local leaders on the ground. We are getting more and more information about the number of people in need, the number of what is needed. And we are also trying to collect information from other agencies as of how they are planning to step in and respond to the needs of thousands of people who are affected by this crisis.
What's next for survivors? Where can they turn to for food, for shelter, for water?
I myself talked with a man called Pascal, who is on the ground there. And I was asking him this question about a few days after, no food, no water, the hydraulic installation have been wiped away. The affected zones were endemic to the cholera outbreak because that zone hosted thousands of people from North Kivu following the M23 clashes between M23 and the FARDC. So that question came out, was like, how are people coping? And one of the saddest answer I ever received was that people are not interested with eating or drinking because they haven't found their beloved ones. So one thing is happening on the ground is the solidarity between the affected villages and the non-affected villages. People can still bring in what they can. Two, affected populations are using houses that have been affected but not completely destroyed. But when it rains, everybody is like going outside. As of this afternoon, it was raining and everybody was outside because they don't know what can happen next. And third, as the government representatives try to get in and support where they can, when you bring in NFIs, non-food items, you just realize that was not the need. The need is water. But then when you think about water, like, okay, we need chlorination, we need medical supplies, we need a lot of stuff at the same time. So this situation is still hard to manage.